What's up, YouTube? Jeff, your Style O.G. And on today's video, I'm going to share with you 12 man rules I believe every guy should know and live by. If you're new to the channel, we release a new video every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, discussing various men's lifestyle topics such as style, grooming, and dating. I invite you to subscribe, tap the notification bell, and join us. And to my returning friends like Sean T, salute. Now, I just believe there are certain rules men should abide by that will lead you to being a man of honor, respect, admiration, and integrity. Some of these rules are serious, some not so serious, some written and some unwritten. These rules govern how you carry yourself and how you interact with the outside world, friends, family, and acquaintances. And I've got 12 of my favorites today that I want to share with you. These are 12 rules I definitely do my best to abide by. So without any further delay, let's hop right into it. First up on the list of man rules every guy should live by, once your boy shows interest in a woman, she's immediately off limits to you. No exceptions to this rule. If you guys see her at the same time, whoever steps up first gets first dibs. No matter how it goes for him in the pursuit of this woman, whether she shoots him down, gets married, or anything in between. When your boy steps up to a chick, immediately she no longer exists to you. I don't care if he strikes out, I don't care if they break up and he gives you permission, he does not mean it. I don't care how bad she is, and even if she turned him down immediately. There are 3.9 billion women in the world. She's no longer one of them once your boy steps up. Now, next up is a rule I believe that can save a lot of relationships, whether it's talking about friends or family. I believe you should never lend your friends or family money. Now, notice I said lend. I don't have a problem with you giving money. You see, the thing is, if your friends or family find themselves in financial need, the ability to pay that money back easily is slim to none. Now they don't pay you back, you're resentful, all interactions are awkward, it's just not worth it. Instead, if you can afford to give the money away, give it to them. If you can't afford to give it away, don't. Just say no. If they get upset or can't respect it, that's on them. Give what you can comfortably give away, but don't lend it. If you lend money to friends or family and they don't pay it back, your relationship will never be the same. Now, next up, we have a set of rules, some man etiquette, if you will. Things you should abide by when using a urinal. Yes, there's some best practices when you pee publicly. First thing, when you walk into the bathroom, unless it's extremely busy and can't be avoided, never stand in the urinal directly next to a guy who's already there. Leave at least one space. And when you get into your space, eyes straight ahead. Don't be looking over. Don't make the next guy feel like you're checking out his Johnson. And on top of that, no talking. You're in here to do your business, wash your hands, and get out. Save all conversations for after you leave the bathroom. Now, one of the best things about having male friends, we get to make fun of each other. We get to roast each other, and that's great. But there's one subject I believe that's off limits. You never joke about another man's profession. Here's the thing. The first job a man has, at least in my opinion, is to provide. And a man worth his salt is proud of providing. Don't take shots on how he gets that done. It's cool to talk about what he has on, make fun of his kicks or his style, tease him about whether he's able to get women or the quality of women he can get, but the one thing that's off limit, do not make fun of your boy's job. It's a sense of pride to a real man. Next up is a very important rule in my book. Every man should take seriously and fulfill his duties as a wingman. Here's the thing, when your boy is interested in or has a woman, your job is to play point guard to his shooting guard. You should be throwing alley-oops. When you're around this chick, he's the funniest guy in the room. His intellect is extremely profound. And the roasting we usually do of each other, that ceases around this girl. Your job is to be the Scottie Pippen to his Jordan. You don't try to be the center of attention. Allow him to be. Talk about half as much as you usually do. A real man takes very seriously his duties as a wingman. Now, next up are a couple of rules that cover one of the worst parts of the friend contract between men. When your boy asks you to move, no matter how much you don't want to, and if you can make it, you have to say yes. We all hate moving, but this is just part of being a friend. And on top of that, when the moving is done, beer and pizza is payment in full. No boy lets their friend pay them for helping them move. Now, next up, we have another set of rules. These are the rules that men should abide by when you're a passenger in your boy's car. When you're the passenger in your boy's car, he's the pilot, he's in charge. What that means is he gets to pick the music. And if there's songs you don't like, You nod your head anyway like it's your jam. And please, no side seat driving. Even if he gets lost, if he doesn't ask you for directions, don't volunteer them. If he wants you to be the navigator, he'll tell you. And finally, if you're the passenger in your boy's car, especially if he picks you up, any ride over 20 minutes, you have to offer gas money. Now, next up is a man rule a lot of us were taught when we were younger, but that rule loosens up the older we get. Yes, bros before hoes, but not before wives. Yes, I'm all for men's solidarity, friends before females. But that changes the more serious your boy gets about a woman, especially if he decides to marry her. Yes, our friendships are important, but family comes first. If you guys are supposed to hang out or do things as fellas, the thing is, if he has a family obligation with his wife, encourage him to do that first. You fall back. His immediate family comes first. Yes, bros before hoes, but not before wives. Now, next up, I have some rules that help govern how you greet someone non-verbally, whether it's a friend or a stranger. The head nod rules. You use the head nod to speak non-verbally, but there's a subtle difference. If it's somebody you know, you do an upward head nod. If it's a stranger or someone walking down the street, you do the head nod downwards. And another good thing to keep in mind when walking down the street, this will cut down on a lot of confusion on which way to walk. You walk to the right. Let the other person go to the right of you. Now, next up is a man rule I strongly believe in. A real friend always defends his friends, even if they're wrong. Here's the thing, especially when out in public, unless your friend being wrong will put other people or him in danger, he's right. Back him up. If you think he's wrong, deal with it later. How I would handle it if my boy is wrong, I'm gonna step up and back him up out in public, and later behind closed doors, then I'll G-check him, tell him he was foul or wrong, but never in front of other people. And here's the other thing, a real friend defends his friend's name even when they're not around. I don't allow slick talk about my friends when they're not around. You defend your friend's honor. The real test of a friendship is what you do when he can't see it. Now, next up is a rule I believe definitely needs to be abided by in our modern times. A real man doesn't cancel plans or break up with a woman over email or text. This is a pet peeve of mine in the modern era. Do not be a coward. If you don't want to go somewhere or can't make it, call the person or tell them in person. But even more importantly, if you're gonna break up with a woman, do not do it over text. That's so weak. If you got yourself into a situation, be man enough to get yourself out of it. That's what a man of respect does. And although her feelings might be hurt, she'll respect you more as well. Do not hide behind electronic communication. A real man doesn't cancel plans or break up with a girl over text or email. Next up is a man rule I firmly believe in, no matter how much times have changed. To a real gentleman, chivalry is never dead. I don't care how much you read online that women are equal and they don't really care about you holding the door, they can do it for themselves. That's BS. A woman who's into you and digging you, she still wants you to be a gentleman. I don't care what she said. And on top of that, in my opinion, a gentleman is a gentleman no matter what the times say or what other people do. I always will hold open a door. I'm always gonna pay for the first few dates. If a woman drops something, I'm gonna bend over and pick it up. I will always make sure a woman gets home safely. You see, the thing is a gentleman whether it's in style or not. A man rule I always stick by, chivalry is never dead to a true gentleman. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there are certain rules that I believe if you abide by, they'll lead you to being a man of honor, respect, admiration, and integrity. But of course, it's not only about my opinion. As always, I'd love to hear your input. Let the Style O.G family know in the comment section if there are some man rules you believe men should live by.